What's going on, golf addicts? It's WGC week, March Madness. This is the DFS preview for the WGC Dell Match play, the last one of its kind, possibly. DB here, Pat Perry with me. Pat, we're not gonna get too much into it on this show, but
Yeah.
congrats on the Taylor Moore, 50-1 outright on the betting card. You're hot right now. You drew the butterfly. Now you've hit two winners in what, 4 weeks?
Yeah. 2 and 4 weeks. We
Two in
had
the Florida swing.
Kirk at the Honda and Taylor Moore this week. Just kind of snuck up there at the very end, played super well in the back nine. And, this is what happens when Jordan Spieth is just messing around with stuff, hitting balls in the water. And Adam Schenk was he was trying. He was trying hard, but got a little stymied on the 18th hole behind a tree. So Taylor Moore got it done for me.
It was an exciting week. I'm ready to get into the match play. I love this event. This is a fun week. It's a great week to play DFS. It really is. You just got to understand some of the nuances around it, but it's a lot of fun. We're going to have fun. The brackets just came out, so full transparency on a couple of things here. But
Yes.
before we get started with the transparency, got to give a shout out to our friends at Front Nine Coffee, the place. If you love coffee, if you love golf, okay. If you want to support a small business in Augusta, Georgia, if you want to support the Tour Junkies, head over to front9coffee.com, coffee.com. Use promo code TJ10 to get 10% off your entire order, and you can continue to use that promo code. Some of y'all haven't bought that coffee, and come on, like, I know you drink coffee and you like us, so just give it a shot. Give it a shot. When you order it, they're going to then roast it, and they're going to grind it to your preference when you check out on the site. So when it arrives to your front door, it will be fresh. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very fresh. You can get my blend, which is here. You can get coffees. I mean, you can get Pat's coffee here, the Bump and Run. They're both delightful and delicious. So give it a shot. Front Nine Coffee, the number 9coffee.com, promo code TJ10. All right, so full transparency. We haven't done a whole lot of preliminary research in terms of analyzing the groups yet, because literally the groups were announced an hour ago, and we've been prepping for the show. We obviously know a lot about Austin Country Club. We're going to talk about the golf course here in a minute, talk about some of the historical, what we've seen in the past here at Austin CC. But at the end of the day, this is not a week to get super heavy and really digging deep into the stats and, running your models and all those kind of things. It's just not one of those sort of weeks. There is a ton of variance at this golf tournament every single year. And basically the other thing I guess we need to get out there is, you don't know anything, neither do we. Like, we're just going to throw some names. We're going to pontificate. We're going to try to convince ourselves of one thing or another. But the fact is, this match play situation is very unusual, and it's different. And Austin CC, a couple of different styles of play can do well there. We've seen Kevin Kisner, Matt Kuchar win there. We've seen Scotty Scheffler, Billy Horschel win there. We've seen bombers, short knockers, grinders, whoever, guys in bad form play well. The worst name in the group come out of group play. We've seen last year, I think, was the most number one seeds in the history of this event being at Austin CC to ever come out of the 16 group play. It was 8. The year before, in 2021, there was 1. His name was John Rahm. So in the last 2 years, you've had 8 top seeds come out and 1 top seed come out of the group play. Anything else you think we need to get out of the way before we talk about the golf course and kind of the format, Pat?
No, I mean, I think this is a week where you just got to pick your strategy and go with it. Just get you a strategy down, get you some players that you like and run with it. And it's, it is what it is. It's like March Madness. It's like if you're doing a basketball pool, same thing, freaking Purdue's going to lose in the first round. Okay. So whoever is your Purdue, whoever's the number 1 ranked Purdue, that one's going down. You just got to figure out who your Purdue is and who is the is the Fairleigh Dickinson. Okay,
so Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah,
what the hell is even going on? I mean, last year you had like Seamus Power came out of a hard group. Takumi Kanaya came out of his group. I mean, it just really is wild. But like I said, recent winners: Scotty Scheffler is your defending champion. Billy Horschel, Kevin Kisner, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Jason Day also have won here at Austin CC.
Kiz has played in at least 2 or 3 finals, right?
Yeah, Kiz. Yeah. And I think Scheffler has too, right? He
Yeah,
lost to Billy Ho in
lost to
20,
Horschel, yeah.
yeah, and then won the following year. You've got a couple other like running storylines. For example, one would be, and I think we'll try to hit to it as we come across some of those players. But in case we forget, I do think this is worth looking at. This is the final week that you can qualify based on your world golf ranking to get into the Masters. So at the end of the WGC Dell Match Play, the top 50 in the world golf ranking after the end of this week, not previously in, are going to be in the Masters. And there are a number of players, and like I said, we'll get to them, that are just inside of that 50 or outside that 50 trying to get in there. And then for the Valero next week, it's only the winner of the Valero that gets the invite to Augusta. So remember that. And I also think, even though we're a little ways out, Pat, there's still plenty of golf, right? I think there are some guys, maybe your new guys, your young guys, your guys that haven't played on a Ryder Cup team or a President's Cup team yet. I think there's a handful of those guys on the outside of the Ryder Cup top six that, look at this as an opportunity to say, I want to prove myself in match play to captains. I want to prove
Yeah.
myself to ZJ. I want to prove myself to Luke Donald, and get some good match play experience on the resume if I don't already have it. For some of the veterans, I don't know that really matters at all, even whether they're in the top six or they're not. But I mean, I think those are a couple of like underlying things to pay attention to.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. They definitely want to get a little visibility when it comes to, possibly getting on that Ryder Cup team if they're on the edge.
So last year, after this tournament last year, I try to go back in and I write notes, quick notes on whatever happened in the tournament, to try to remember for next year. And here's a quote from last year's WGC notes by myself, DB. Quote: "This event is so damn variable, period. There's basically no sense in trying to get six through to the Elite Eight, or whatever you want to call it. It won't happen, parentheses, although possible. For that reason, you can pull some of your favorite guys out of the same side of the bracket and not feel like an absolute jackass, period." That is a quote. So we'll
That's a good
talk
one.
through strategy here in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the golf course, Austin CC, Pete Dye design, par 71, around 7,100 yards. Like I said, kind of any style of play. There's some drivable holes here. It's definitely a great match play course. Seems to be very risk reward. Forgiving fairways. You kind of have slopes and elevation changes. The greens are Bermuda, but the POA can be active at times. They're smaller than average with slopes and runoffs when missed. Things that you got to have, obviously birdie or better, opportunities gained, being able to be a scorer helps in match play. Who cares if you quad the hole? Just being able to make birdies and put pressure on your opponent is key. I think Pete Dye and match play prowess for sure can help. Approach play around the green going to be kind of what differentiates, and then dropping putts on your opponent. Like I said, not overall a heavy model week. You can kind of play with your eyeballs a little bit. Like what does the eye test tell you? What does the gut tell you? Have you been watching golf? And then embrace the variance is obviously what you got to do. Embrace the volatility. Understand the DK DraftKings scoring is a little different. We won't get into that, but I mean, you got to win matches, you got to win holes. That's what you got to do. So you can be aware of that. Winner plays 7 matches, Pat. 7 matches. So it's kind of a grind. I mean, if you
Yeah.
make it Saturday and Sunday, you're playing a lot of golf. And while you may have some matches end early, it's still a lot of golf. So yeah, and then my note here, similar to what my quote said, is, if you want to build the optimal lineup, trying to get 6 of your golfers into the final 8, you can do that, because yes, it is possible. But I'm telling you, I don't think I saw one last year in any contest. I didn't see one person do that. Maybe you did. Congratulations. If you did, you won all the money. I bet you won it all. It is just really hard to do that. So sure, like, build optimally, build your lineups optimally, but at the same time, like, I don't think it's terrible to have 1 or 2 players that are coming out of that same segment. And we'll open up the bracket here in a minute, talk more in detail about what we're talking about. I don't think it's a crime to have 2 players come out of that one group if they're strong groups, if they're strong players, and you feel strongly about it, because I'm just telling you, getting 6 of 6 into the Elite Eight was non-existent last year. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I can recall last year I thought I had some just great DK lineups because I was getting people through the groups and whatever and didn't cash like at all. So it is definitely it's just one of those weeks, but it's fun though. I enjoy a little different format every once in a
yeah,
while.
I do too. Is this true? Kevin Joyner in the chat. No practice rounds allowed this year. Good luck, first timers. Is that true? What's your
Why would they not allow practice rounds?
yeah? What's your source there? I will say I wanted to talk about the weather. I looked at it before we came on here, Pat. By the way, it starts on Wednesday. Welcome to Further Variance. We got to remind ourselves of that. It
Mhm.
starts on Wednesday. So make sure to get your bets in, get your lineups in early. That's why we're doing the show early. The betting show is going to come out early. All the content we're going to try and speed up. The Wednesday night live chat in the Nut Hut is now going to be on Tuesday night in the Nut Hut tomorrow night. So be prepared. It is going to happen on Wednesday. So I'm looking at the weather. I don't see any rain going on at all until maybe Friday. But we talk about Texas winds, right? I mean, Wednesday, Thursday, sustained winds in the 12 to 15 miles an hour on Wednesday with gusts in the mid to high 20s. Thursday, gusts in the 30s. Friday, blustery again. I mean, pretty typical Texas win. So I think there's an edge to win players, solid iron ball strikers, Texas connections, of course.
Oh,
Kevin's just
you love those
I
local
do. I love
connections.
geographical connections. Just
Yeah.
announced on Golf Channel 5 minutes ago. Why? What is the reason for that? Can we do some research? Can somebody do some
There's
research for
gotta
me?
be a reason that they wouldn't allow practice rounds.
That's crazy.
Unless the course is just, like, saturated with water and it's, like, unplayable, why would they not want you on there practicing?
Hmm. That is very interesting to me. Is that on Twitter anywhere too? Can we source that while we're doing this live? Um, all right, so we're gonna talk through the ranges. We're gonna open up the bracket here, and while we're doing more research on this whole practice round
We
thing,
might
which
have to
really,
text the caddy and figure and get a
yeah, that really would suck for a first timer having not played Austin CC. If
well, and it also gives an advantage. It's like a super disadvantage to them.
right,
Doesn't seem very fair.
jeez, um, okay.
Okay, we'll
Before
figure
we
that
get
out.
to that, we do have to thank our friends and our new partner at Pickett. And there are a lot of reasons why you should be signed up for Pickett. Number one, it's a free app and you don't pay for anything in the app, and they pay you cash to download it. Number two, if you're betting on sports or you're playing prize picks or underdog, you can sync your accounts and track your bets. I'm going to talk about a different segment of Pickett almost every time I talk about this app because it is so much fun to use and I'm loving it. By the way, this screenshot only shows I have 4 followers. We've racked up a ton of followers since we started this, so I need to get a new screenshot. But Pickett is the ultimate bet tracker and fantasy tracker, and that's very important for you to keep track of. And it's important to know who you're following and who you're possibly tailing to keep track of. So, for example, you can see here in the screenshot, it's kind of your profile, all the different books, plus some that you can sync when you click the link in the YouTube video or in the podcast to download the Pickett app for free. Make sure you put in TJ in the referral code, and you are going to get either $3 or $100 sent to you by PayPal or via PayPal by Pickett just for downloading the app and syncing up one book or prize picks or underdog, whatever. But here's what I want to show you. This is the calendar view. This is my calendar view for prize picks and underdog in January and February. And you can look at this for anybody on Pickett. You can see total profit. You can see their record. You can see units plus or minus all time this month, this week, yesterday, today. Anything they've got going, you can check it out. Now, March is not off to the hottest start, but and so I highly encourage everybody to do this because you need to be tracking what you're doing because eventually you'll be able to see like, what am I good at? Am I good at prize picks? What's my ROI? Am I good at round robins? Am I better at parlays? What should I be avoiding? Am I good at player props? All these things will be synced, even your historical data from these sites once you download the Pickett app. And again, it is free, iOS and Android. Check it out. We're really grateful for our friends at Pickett. They are awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right. Did we learn anything on this? This is unbelievable. Pat? Have you been researching, or what are you
I
doing?
have not seen it. No, I've been looking, but I haven't figured anything out yet.
Trying to think if there's anything else we need to like talk through before we get to like the brackets. I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. All right, let's go. Let's share the screen here. So here is. We'll just talk through these. Why don't we do this, Pat? What if we go through each group first, and then we'll get to the DraftKings pricing? What if we go through each group first and just say like hard bracket, easy bracket, first like gut reaction to potential players here. So
Okay. All right.
group one, I believe, is Scotty Scheffler, Davis Riley, Tom Kim, Alex Noren. By the way, I saw on Twitter, Scotty Scheffler defeated Davis Riley in the 2013 was it USAM, and Davis Riley called a penalty on himself to lose. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Isn't that crazy?
Davis Riley's a good guy, though.
He's a very good guy. He's a Bama boy, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So, all right, you got Tom Kim in here, who's kind of cooled off a little bit. Alex Noren, who actually has a um, uh, very good match play record. If
He
I remember
does.
correctly, Alex Noren is 11 and
14.
5 at Austin CC in match play and
Yeah.
14 and 7 overall. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, what do we think here?
Well, I mean, I think it would be very hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler coming out of this bracket. I think Noren would be the one that's going to give him the most challenge over Riley and Tom
Really?
Kim. Just the way Tom Kim's been playing lately. You know what he's not doing? I feel like is making a lot of birdies. I'd have to go look at his stats for more recently on birdie or better, but I just haven't seen a whole lot from him lately, and I think that yeah, he's 41st in the field in birdie or better percentage over his last 36 rounds. So I feel like Scheffler's just it'd be hard for me to go against Scheffler. It's chalk for me in Group One.
Scheffler on DraftKings 11-1. Davis Riley 7,300. Tom Kim is 8,700, and Alex Noren is 7,000. It definitely feels like Tom Kim is maybe the worst value here based on the recent play um, out of the bunch. But I mean, I don't know. Right off the bat, just first look, I'm a little tempted to play Davis Riley. Just the value is strong. Just had a good finish at the Valspar again. Saw him play well at the API. I think that's an interesting value. But you mentioned Alex Noren at 7,000. That's a nice one too. So
Yeah, it is.
this doesn't seem like this a super difficult group for Scheffler. Maybe I don't know. Well, I guess we'll keep looking at him and see what we think. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying like if you want to build optimal lineups. If you want to build optimal lineups, you will pick one player out of the two groups that play against each other in the next round. So, because that way, if you pick Scotty and Sung Jae, only one is going to make it to the Elite Eight. So you're already putting a guy in your lineup that's dead to make it to the final 8 players, therefore ruining your chances of getting 6 of 6 through to the final 8, which is again extremely unlikely anyway. So that's what I'm saying when I'm saying playing different players, playing one player from each two group segment right here. So just so we know. All right, let's go to group 16, who will be playing against the Scheffler group in the next round. Sung Jae, Mav McNeely, Tommy Fleetwood, JT Poston. This one seems a little more evenly matched to me. Like I feel like all these guys kind of do some of the same things well. There's not like there's not like a bomber in this group. They're all kind of flashing some form to an extent. Maybe Mav is probably the worst form incoming. Um, I think we're getting like a rested Sung Jae, right? I mean, we haven't seen
Yeah.
Sung Jae in at least a week. My God, so he's got to be feeling fresh. Finished 6th at the Players. So let's see. Sung Jae is 9,400. Fleetwood 8,300. McNeely 6,800 and JT Poston 6,300. That is very cheap for JT Poston. I feel like this is an evenly matched group, but I think you could get weird here with this one.
Yeah, and this is where I think you could save a little cash too. I
Yeah.
think you can get a little, a little crazy here and just go maybe with a little bit of a long shot and save some money. JT Poston's played here once, and his record was 1-1-1, so it doesn't tell you a whole lot there.
Sung Jae's 3-5 here at Austin CC, 5-6 overall match play. Tommy Ladd is 11-10-3 in overall match play, 8-7-2 at Austin CC. Mav, we probably don't have much of anything. He's 2-0-1. I remember that. He didn't he not come out of his group being 2-0-1 last year? I think I remember that. Maybe not. So what do we think? I mean, Tommy is playing really good right now. He's hitting it really good. But Sung Jae and JT, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to go Tommy here. Get him at 8,300. Save you a little money. Saves you 1,100 off of Sung Jae. He's at 9,400. So I feel like Tommy can win this group fairly easily. Not easily. I mean, we know it's tough, but I would feel good about that one. So I'm leaning Fleetwood there and saving a little cash over Sung Jae. I think if you really want to get crazy, though, you go JT Poston.
I know. I was looking at it. So JT at the Valspar, gain strokes off the tee, was very good on approach. Lost a little bit around the green, but probably because the approach was so hot, he didn't have a whole lot of chances. Gained some strokes putting. Let's see, where did he end up? So he ended up, where is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was the fifth highest strokes gained approach of last week at the Valspar of guys who made the cut. Wyndham Clark, Eric Van Rooyen, Matt Wallace, and Jason Duffner, the only guys that played better than he did in terms of approach play last week. That's strong. Poston's interesting at a cheap price.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. So then you've got Group 8 and 9 will be playing against each other. Group 8 is Victor Hovland, Matt Kuchar, Chris Kirk, Siwoo Kim in Group 8.
I think I want to fade Hovland here.
Really?
Yeah.
Hovland is at 9,600. Chris Kirk is at 78. Kuchar, who's got a really good track record here, is at 7,100. And Siwoo is at 75.
For me, it's between Siwoo and Chris Kirk. I like Chris Kirk. What's his match play? So he was 3-2 here.
Fourth overall, 3-2 here. Siwoo is just he's 6-9-3 overall, 5-8-3 here at Austin. Man, he seems like the perfect match play guy, but he's kind of not. Why are we fading Hovland?
He just seems like a guy that could lose in the first round, or just lose and not make it out and piss everybody off.
I mean, with the win projections up a little bit, I'm intrigued by Hovland's. I mean, the ball striking has still been really good.
Yeah, he's 3-3 also.
3rd at the Players, 10th at the Arnold Palmer, 20th at the Genesis, 18th here last year. I mean, I would love for Siwoo to be good, but I think Hovland is just such a better player than all three of these guys. To me, Hovland is the guy.
Would you worry a little bit about his scrambling around this golf course?
Yeah. I mean, I worry about it on any golf course.
Yeah, but this one I feel like there is a little bit of...
Is it that hard, though, to scramble on? I don't know. I mean, if he's missing greens, like if Victor Hovland's missing greens, we got issues anyway. Like I just count on him. I count on him in a match play situation, just hitting so many more greens than anybody else, especially with the wind up. And so you're just annoyed because you're scrambling and he's not. That's what I'm I mean, yeah, if he's missing greens, I know that I'm already in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do we have any further? Oh, Kevin's got a video. We're not gonna be able to pull up the video while we're doing this. Blah blah blah. Todd Lewis said, "Guys, we're getting ready for a practice round." Oh, okay. So what? I don't know what's happening. So maybe Kevin, are you rumor milling this? Are you trying?
Are you rabble rousing?
You're a little tomfoolery here. You're trying to get people to not play your rookies or something. What's going on? All right. Next group 9, who would play against the winner coming out of the Victor Hovland group. Colin Morikawa, Victor Perez, Jason Day, and Adam Svensson. Sounds like I mean this is a stripe show here. I mean,
This is a strong group. I mean,
this is
don't
a
sleep on Victor Perez.
okay. So we're getting our buddy Alex is texting. There are let's see, course open to so practice rounds still on the website for today and tomorrow. Okay. So Morikawa, Perez, Jason Day, Svensson. I mean, a Day previous champion here. Obviously in tremendous form. I don't think I think I don't want Morikawa here, especially considering, I mean, 9,500 for Morikawa. Jason Day's 91, which isn't that much of a. Victor Perez is 65 and Svensson is 67. Victor Perez went deep here one year, didn't he?
No, I think we went over this before. You're thinking of the other Frenchman, Victor Dubuisson.
No, Victor Perez went deep here too. He's 4-3 here at Austin.
Okay, all right.
I'm not. Hang on. I'll tell you. Hold on. He finished.
Well, if it was 4-3, then that
He
means
made it to the Final Four in 2021. He finished 4th.
Okay. Well, I like Victor Perez. That's what I said earlier. I don't think I would sleep on him. Where did he finish last week too? Didn't he?
Yeah, he finished 45th. Svensson didn't play last week. He's coming off a really good run. I mean, 13th. The players. Who's the other one? Jason. Oh yeah, Jason. I mean, this is tough. I could see Svensson or Victor playing spoiler here, but god dang, Jason Day is looking very, very nice right here to me.
Well, and he is solidly in the field now at the Masters, I would say.
Yeah.
But a decent, good showing could also. Where is he? Is he like 41st? What is he in the world right now?
I don't know, but he's. I think he's comfortably. I don't think he's an issue.
Yeah.
I was going to say Victor Perez is not qualified for the Masters. He is 61st in the world golf ranking. So I mean, he'd have to go pretty deep here.
A deep run would maybe jump him in.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he'd have to do, but another one that we've already talked about that's kind of there is Maverick McNeely is not in the Masters. He's at 70th. I mean, he'd probably have to win.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Perez probably have to make it to the. Yeah, he'd probably have to do something like that too. I think I lean Day here though.
I mean, the smartest
hockey play.
The smartest play is Day for sure.
Which is going to be.
But if I'm going to get a little crazy and save some money too, I think I would go Victor Perez
over Svensson.
Over Svensson, yeah.
Just because of the experience angle.
Experience angle, a little added motivation to try his best to maybe get into the Masters. Svensson's already in. Obviously, he won it at the RSM. Not that that's the only, I'm not a huge narrative guy, but I do think, some of these guys like on the edge, like Victor Perez, Minwoo Lee's in the field. I think he's probably going to get in anyway, but there is a little added motivation there for sure.
All right, let's take a look at Group 4, which we're going through these groups because these groups will be on the same side of the bracket. So this is on the left side of the bracket here. So this one, Group 4, is going to play against Group 13. Group 4 is led by Patrick Cantlay with Nick Taylor, Brian Harman, and KH Lee. Now, this is a prototypical group that will bone everyone because everyone is going to say, Patrick Cantlay, to me, got an easy draw here.
Immediately, that's the first. When I'm looking at the groups, the first one I got to was this one. I'm like, I'm taking Cantlay.
Which means Cantlay is getting tossed in pod. He's not going to.
But who's going to toss him?
I think
maybe KH Lee with as many birdies as he can make. I don't know.
He had a good weekend. KH had a good weekend. He was in, by the way, the Sleepers video last week, Pat. Did you watch the Sleepers video by chance?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man, you should have. It was a great one.
You said the week before was a great one.
Well, the week before was hilarious. Now, they were both great, but for different reasons. The week before was because I was hammered, and it was I'd said some weird stuff. But both players missed the cut. Okay.
Okay, so that's technically for people that are wanting some good
Yeah.
information. It was not a good week.
Yeah. Last week was a good week, but I was not hammered. I did wear a hoodie over my head, which
Interesting look. I
people
did
thought was
see
weird.
that. Actually, yeah, I did see that because
And
I
somebody commented that he's like, "Hoodie over your head is like TJ's jumped the shark." And I was like, "What? What's that? What? Because I have a hoodie on?" I don't know. But no, last week I had Cage Lee as a sleeper who finished T19, and I had your best bud, Matt Wallace, who could have
mhm.
won and kind of gagged it away on Sunday, who finished T7. So a T7 and a T19 in a sleepers video, we're cooking with grease here. Anyway, Cage Lee had a good week last week. So I could see Cage Lee being something. He's only played one match. I guess that was in President's Cup. He's never played here. He was 1-0. He won that one. And then, I mean, are we? Nick Taylor's had a quietly solid year. Now, I think Nick Taylor does everything quietly. And I don't know if, right? I mean,
Yeah.
does he do anything? Anything? I mean, Cantlay's 10-7. Okay. Nick Taylor is 6,600. KH Lee is 6,400. And Harmon, who did finally show some semblance of form at the Players, where he finished 44th, but then he missed the cut last week at the Valspar. Harmon is 7,400, if I'm looking at that correctly. Dude, I don't know.
Harmon's now, if you want the guy like you talked about at the start that is not really in great form, that all of a sudden just shows up and plays well here and maybe makes a run to like the Elite Eight, probably could be Harmon. He fits the profile, missing 3 of his last 4 cuts.
Yeah,
Um,
Bulldog.
and he's got a decent match play record. He's, I think, 5-4 here. Um, yeah, 5-4-3. But still, it's I may just play Cantlay, and it is what it is. If I get screwed, that's what happens. But I just feel like he's over and above these other 3.
I'm feeling ballsy in this group, dude. I got a feeling. I feel like you know who the last person in the field who wants to play 7 rounds of golf? Patrick Cantlay. He does not want to play 7 matches. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's
So,
probably true.
and he's ready to just
Well, how do you know he doesn't?
chill.
What if he likes like
Hey, I feel like Patrick Cantlay does not really enjoy playing professional golf. I just don't. He just gives me the vibe. That vibe. Not to the same extent these other guys do. Um,
what would you think Cantlay would be doing if he didn't play professional golf?
he would be doing what he would be in the finance world. He'd be doing like your job.
I think he'd be like he'd be in the finance world and he'd be in the locker room at a country club late in the afternoon having a couple beers playing gin.
Yeah.
That's what he'd be doing.
Yeah, that's what he'd like to do. I guarantee you, he does not want to get he might want to get out of group play. He does not want to get farther than that. So, and this is going to be the chalk. Cantlay is going to be the chalk.
So this is where you think you
I
just
think
have
this
to
is where
say,
you
"Hey, I'm going to
yeah,
pick a guy in here, pivot."
yeah. And I think it's KH Lee. I think I'm going KH Lee.
I like KH.
All right, next group. So the group that would play the winner of the Cantlay group is coming out of Group 13, led by Sam Burns, who flashed some form despite him being the chalk bomb last week at the Valspar. Adam Hadwin, Seamus Power, and Adam Scott. This group just seems real tough to nail down for me. Like, Burns is 8,800, Hadwin 7,500, Power 7,200, and Adam Scott 7,800.
I don't know.
Oh, that's how we feel about this group. So Adam Hadwin, very limited match play record, 1-0-2 here. Adam Scott, ton of match play record. Overall, he's 23, 24-2. That would include President's Cup, obviously. Here in Austin, he is 4-1-2. Who else are we looking at? Seamus and Burns. Sam Burns has never played here. He's got a draw in. I guess that was at the President's Cup. Seamus Power came out of group play last year, 3-2. I just don't. I don't like any of this, honestly.
Why did Sam Burns not play in this last year?
You know, I think that's interesting. I mean, Justin Thomas is skipping this. There's a couple of guys that are skipping this. They're
Well, I know
qualified.
he had probably just won the Valspar, but
I just think I think there's some guys that maybe I don't know. They don't like it for one reason or another. They don't like the golf course, or they don't care to get. They don't want to play 7 matches. I don't know.
yeah,
So
I mean,
I kind of
none
think
of these are really. I mean, Seamus hasn't been that great lately.
yeah,
Scott's been okay.
yeah.
Hadwin's been all right. I mean,
I feel like this is a crapshoot. I'm staying away from this
you
group.
may just throw a dart at this one and see where
Yeah,
it goes.
yeah. Ask your wife. Ask your wife to pick.
Yeah, it's like in the in the
Yeah, it's like
basketball
tennis.
bracket.
Yeah.
Maybe put 4 bowls in front of your dog and see which one. Just put Burns on one, Power, Scott, Hadwin, see which one they like.
Yeah, yeah. Get a little Winston over there to run over to that kibble
Yeah.
and see which bowl label the kibbles and see which bowl he goes and gets. Um, that's pretty funny. What are some other fun things what are some other fun ways you could randomly choose between 4 players? Put that in the comments. Maybe we'll do that. That could be fun. That could be fun social media content for the week, Pat. I'd love for you to get involved in some social media content. Maybe this week could be a great
I'll
opportunity
see what I
for you.
can yeah, I mean, I like the idea.
What if you spray painted 4 quadrants in your yard and then put the players' names on them and you let little Golby, your fat ass golden retriever, let him out
Whoa, 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 there's
and
no reason to fat
whichever
shame.
quadrant he takes a dump in is the player that we pick, huh?
Well,
That could
I
be
don't know
fun.
if I would wanna do that, but I could figure out something interesting. By
I
the
think
way, with this group, you got 2 S's and 2 A's. I wonder how that happened.
what?
You got a Sam and a Seamus and an Adam and a Adam.
Okay.
I mean, that's crazy.
All right, that's the show for today. Appreciate everybody. May your screens okay,
No, but listen, I might try something on some of these because
we
there's
gotta do
there's
something.
it's some of these groups you're just gonna have to pick somebody and see
Yeah.
what happens.
It's random as all get out. All right, cool. That'll be fun. Let's keep it moving. By the way, don't forget the Masters contest going on. You can win free merch from Augusta, people. Free merch, and you're running out of time. We're gonna have to make decisions on who's winning this next week. You got 3 ways to win. Here's what you got to do. Now, what's going to happen if you win? Oh, well, we're going to get your sizes. We're going to get your wish list because you can't get here for the Masters, and we'll be here. And we're going to go be your personal shopper, spend our money on getting you some merch, and we're going to ship it to your door that easy. All right, here's the first winner. It's going to win $500 in Masters merch. All you got to do is leave a 5-star rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts. Leave your Instagram or Twitter handle or your email address. So if you win, we can contact you. Write something nice. Give us some feedback on the show. 5-star review on Spotify as well if you're on Spotify. Then another winner is going to win $300 in merch. All you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. So right here, if you're watching, click the subscribe button. Okay. That way, you know when we go live. Sometimes we go live randomly. Sometimes we don't go live when we say we are. It's the Wild West here in TJ headquarters. Okay. We're a small shop. Subscribe on YouTube. All right. Like the video while you're here. And then another winner is going to win $200 in merch. All you have to do is subscribe to our weekly email list. We are giving you incredible content twice a week, getting you ready for DFS, for betting on golf. Every single week, you get the heavy petting email and the chalk bomb email, all full of goodies for DFS and betting decisions. So if you subscribe to that, you get a chance to win $200 as well. So 3 winners. All the link to subscribe is in the description of the video or the podcast. Just subscribe now and you're in. If you're already subscribed, if you're already subscribed on YouTube, and if you've already done a review, guess what? You're already in. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, okay. So Max Homa, Group 5 and Group 12 are playing each other. Max Homa, Justin Suh, Hideki, and Kevin Kisner here. Okay.
This is a group here now.
Now this, okay, yeah, but I don't think it is. Like, okay, Max is 10-1. Hideki's 86. Justin Suh is 73. And Kiz is 72. To me, I've been riding him, and I'm gonna keep on riding him. This is one where I'll take the favorite. I'll take Max Homa here every day of the week. I mean, Hideki, I think is okay, but speaking of a guy who probably doesn't want to play 7 matches, that's probably Hideki, given his injury-prone self. I mean, he did play well at the Players, which, by the way, if you were in the Discord, you got a little nuggie the night before the Players, and hopefully you played a little Hideki Matsuyama, who ended up finishing 5th. That's a little kind of some of the nuggies that we give are good. Some of them don't work out. Some of them do. Hideki worked out at the Players, but I just don't see Hideki really going too deep here. And Kiz is just not. I know last year we talked about like Kiz just doesn't seem to be the same Kiz, but we still were kind of tempted to play him. But this year he's really. I just don't. I'm not seeing it. So I think this is head and shoulders Max Homa.
I do agree. I think Max Homa is certainly the favorite of any of the groups. This is probably the biggest favorite to come out. I would love to be able to play Kiz because of his match play record and I mean, he lives for this kind of stuff. But I just feel like he's still struggling with, with these Wilson irons and, trying to kind of find it a little bit out there. And I don't want to take that risk for me. So I still think I'd probably go Homa here.
I mean, Kisner's match play record is overwhelming.
It's
It's
unreal.
incredible.
Yeah.
He has won 69% of his matches and 76% of his matches here at Austin Country Club. I mean, it's really good, but you just cannot tell me this dude is the same. He's just not the same player right now. Like you said, whether it's the irons or the coaching changes, all the stuff is just very suboptimal right now.
Now, I do think Justin Suh is a little bit of a sneaky play here. He's a great putter. I think that, now this is probably, I'm assuming, his first time playing match play. So that's going to be a little bit, tough for him. But I think he is interesting. If you wanted to, for some reason, fade Homa, which I really don't think you do, to me, the one out of this group that I'd probably go with would be Justin Suh, just with the way he's playing. He's just such a solid player. But Homa really is just the form and everything else. He's the one to take here.
So, I mean, basically, if we're talking about some of the guys up top, we've already gone through. I am eating the chalk on Max Homa at 10,100 on DraftKings for sure. Fading the chalk of Patrick Cantlay at 10,700. Very tempted by Scotty Scheffler at 11,100, but we'll see how it shakes out. And the next stud is in the next group, and it is Jordan Spieth at 10,200 in leading off Group 12. He's going to have to face Mackenzie Hughes, Shane Lowry, and Taylor Montgomery. Lowry priced at 8,400, Montgomery at 7,400, and Hughes, who has absolutely sucked lately, is at 6,100. I mean,
I'm not taking Mackenzie Hughes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not either. I was just about to say, like, strange things happen. That's what we've been preaching this whole.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and strike a line through him on my bracket.
100%. Like, draw the line here. Like, this guy has been terrible lately. So Jordan Spieth, who obviously played really well at the Valspar, had a decent week at the Players, is tempting. Shane Lowry, Taylor Montgomery. So Taylor Montgomery probably no match play record to speak of. In terms of Jordan, he is 10-7-3 here at Austin CC, 16-15-4 all time, winning records on both of those. And then in terms of Shane Lowry, he is 2-7-3 here at Austin Country Club and 7-16-3 all time. I mean, Jordan has got the overwhelming edge in both recent form and experience here and match play record. To me, it actually comes down to either Jordan or Taylor Montgomery. I could see Taylor Montgomery causing problems here with that putter. I mean, a guy that can roll it like he does in match play.
He's throwing daggers on you and you're getting upset. Like, you're sitting there like Jordan's got a 15-footer and, and then all of a sudden, like yesterday, when Adam Schenk throws down the 70-footer for birdie and then Jordan ends up missing his. I mean, I think Taylor can do that to you. He can frustrate you a little bit with the putts that he can make. I like the way Jordan's been playing. But I could see him too just messing around this week, just trying to kind of continue doing what he's doing, preparing himself for Augusta, and Taylor Montgomery just sneaking out of this group, and you get a lower price for Montgomery. So for me, I think I may fade Spieth and go with Montgomery here.
Yeah, I think I could definitely be talked into it. $7,400. By the way, you just mentioned something interesting. And I found an old quote on this. I put this in the Nut Hut, but we'll share it here on the show. You talked about him preparing for Augusta. I think it was last year, but someone asked Justin Thomas about his play at the match play, who, like I said, is not here, and he's already come out and said he just doesn't love the golf course and doesn't play well.
Yeah.
But he said this. He said, so somebody kind of asked him a question about the unpredictable nature of match play, blah, blah, blah. He says, clearly I don't like it. I've not played the place very well. And when you get guys like Kisner, Cooch, and Louie in your group, you don't play the course well and you don't play very well. That equals you going home on Friday. He says, but after we knew we didn't have a chance on Thursday. So what happens sometimes is, when you're starting to go through this round robin play, certain guys are going to be dead come their third match. Like, it doesn't matter what they do, they're dead. And he says, coming out of this, we knew we didn't have a chance on Thursday. Jimmy and I, just caddy Jimmy Johnson, went out Friday and we're like, we're going to use this round to get ready for Augusta. If there's a shot that calls for a stock shot, we'll say, all right, let's try to work this one to get ready for a tee shot on 13 at Augusta. You could have a hole like 7 as long as it was playing Friday at the match play. You could be like, this is like 4 out here, the up tee or left pin or something like that. Obviously still wanted to win my match, but at the end of the day, my week was done with, and I was trying to use that day as the beginning of trying to get ready for Augusta. All that to say, hello variance. Like, this is where it can just get there's just more weirdness that can go down with how these guys attack and where you're left if a guy in your lineup is drawing dead, right? So remember that for live betting. Remember that for showdown, possibly. Remember that for whatever. I think that's good to know, and you brought it up. So
yeah.
All right, let's look at the next section of the brackets. All right, let's go to Rory's group. Group 3 playing Group 14. Rory, Scott Stallings, Keegan Bradley, and Denny McCarthy. Now, of note, Denny McCarthy is currently the 58th ranked golfer in the world, not currently playing Augusta. If I'm looking at, I was looking at something. Ryder Cup, Keegan is currently number 12 in the Ryder Cup standings. Top 6 are locks, and traditionally the U.S. goes very by the book in terms of picking guys. So you want to be in that top 12 if you can. So I think that's interesting as well. McCarthy's actually number 17 in the Ryder Cup standings. So what do we think about this group? Rory's obviously head and shoulders the most talented player here.
Yeah. Sure. And Keegan has an awful match play record.
Very bad.
I mean, it's terrible.
And I'm sure Stallings and Denny probably have very little match play record.
Yeah, I don't see Denny that he's even played in this.
Stallings has not played in this either.
I mean, you know me, I always kind of lean towards Rory, but I could see somebody like Denny sneaking up and coming out of this group. He's really the only one to me that if I'm not going to play Rory, I'd go Denny, just with the way Denny's been playing too lately.
So Rory comes in at 10.5, Keegan at 7,700, Stallings is at 62. He's really cheap. McCarthy at 69. I think I agree with you. I think if I'm not going Rory, which I could see myself not going Rory.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just known to just put up a stinker like he did at the Players, and match play's weird. So I don't know. I can see myself going Denny too. Going back to the putting thing. I mean, just
that's what I was about to say. Another really good putter that can do some damage to your brain, knocking putts all over the place. So Rory's he's interesting to me when it comes to match play. Like he's a very passionate guy, and you feel like he's like into the Ryder Cup and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he was in tears after the last Ryder Cup loss.
Yeah.
But something like this, I just don't know if he how much he really cares about it, and I could see him doing just like what JT was saying, doing a little more, like maybe he loses his first match, starts to figure out halfway through his second match that there's a chance that if he loses that he might be going home early anyway, and he just starts working on stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, if I'm looking at a guy who's probably going to take this a lot more seriously and who's been playing well anyway, and a good putter, you got Denny McCarthy right there, and you're getting him for 6,900. I'd feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's good. This group is group 14 that's going to be playing against the winner of Rory's group is Tyrrell Hatton, Ben Griffin, Russell Henley, and Lucas Herbert. A lot of good storylines in this group. Obviously, Tyrrell Hatton is playing fantastic right now. I've already seen some folks in the chat talking about loving Tyrrell Hatton. I think he is going to be the chalky play out of this range for sure. He is at 9K even. Ben Griffin, who's been playing extremely well, though, is very tempting at the price of 6,500. That is very cheap. Russell Henley at 7,100 and Lucas Earbert at 6,300. A couple things to note here. Tyrrell Hatton, in terms of Ryder Cup standings, as good as he's playing, Tyrrell Hatton is 14th in European Ryder Cup standings, which was kind of shocking to me. I'm surprised he was that he was that high. I thought he would be closer to top 6. Lucas Herbert is 56th in the world golf ranking, needing to get inside the top 50 after this week to make it to Augusta. By the way, Taylor Montgomery, who we talked about earlier, 57th in the world golf ranking. Denny McCarthy, 58th in the world golf ranking. Who else here? That might be it. I mean, to me, it's definitely between Hatton and Griffin. I could see this being a group where, okay, so I talked about how it's obviously optimal to build lineups where you're only picking. Let's look at Group 3 and Group 14, for example, where you're only picking one player out of those two groups, so that you're trying to optimize your lineup to get 6 into the final 8. However, I did say that's very hard to do, and there were going to be some sections of the bracket where you could pick 2 out of that same group and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I kind of like that here for these two groups. I honestly like. I know it's suboptimal. Call me a dummy, but like Hatton and Griffin are both enticing to me. I could see Ben Griffin doing well here.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, I think if you are going to take a little bit of a chance there and do what you're saying, you definitely probably have to put Hatton in there and go with some chalk, but then, and then go with Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
But Griffin can certainly do some damage in this group.
Listen, you're not coming to the Tour Junkies show to get like super data nerd stuff. Okay, that's not what we're doing. But I'm just telling you, not a damn lineup last year had 6 players in the final 8. And I don't care how many people built optimally for that. So if I can get 4 into the final 8, you guys are going to be, I'm going to be making all the monies. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Xander Schauffele, his group 6, will play the winner of group 11, which is Fitzpatrick's. Xander leading off group 6 at 10,300. Cam Davis, who started to play well again, is at 6,600, which seems like quite the value. Tom Hoagie, who's been hot this year, 7,700. And oh boy, my boy Aaron
Wise,
800. God dang it! Now, I'm not at all tempted by Aaron Wise. I'll come out and say it. I'm not, which means he's probably going to win. But I'm not at all tempted. I mean, honestly, I think this is kind of an interesting group. I think this is kind of a challenging group. I think
it is.
Davis playing well, Hoagie playing well, Xander. I mean, Wise is obviously talented. He's just sucking right now.
What is Hoagie? Yeah, he did not play well last year here.
No, but doesn't it? Yeah. Xander's record here is 5-4-3. Overall, he's 7-5-3. Tom Hoagie 0-2-1 here last year. Who else? Oh, Wise and who's the other person? Oh, Cam Davis. Cam Davis has not played here before, and neither has, I don't think Aaron Wise has either. Oh, yes, he has. He's 1-2. You got Hoagie, U.S. Ryder Cup. Hoagie is currently 9th in U.S. Ryder Cup, which I thought was interesting. Xander is 15th. What if I told you that at the beginning of the season?
Xander's 15th?
Xander is 15th in the U.S. Ryder Cup standings. Harris English is ahead of Xander right now. Isn't that wild? What do we want here? What do you want to do?
What did Xander do at...
This might be a stay away group for me.
I don't like this group.
Actually, you know what? I think I might take Hoagie. Hoagie at 7,700, or if I really just want to go, like, if I want some value in the 6K, Cam Davis at 66 is interesting. Only thing that scares me is like we've only we've only seen him play one tournament well. I mean, it was the last one he played, which was the Players, where he finished 6th. He played very well. But other than that, like, he has been terrible. That scares me a little bit, but I don't know.
I don't know. When I first looked at it, I started thinking Cam Davis could be if I'm gonna hate this group and just pivot out of it, maybe go Cam Davis.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna allow me to fit in some of these other guys up top that I want to go with.
All right, let's look at Group 11, who would be playing the winner of the Xander Schauffele group. That is Matthew Fitzpatrick, who is on the struggle bus lately. 8,500 for Fitzy. JJ Spawn also seems to have kind of come back to earth. He is at min price at 6K. Sahith, 8,000. And then Minwoo Lee at 7,600. So this is going to be a Sahith and Minwoo are going to be the chalky selections. You know, where people go, where it all shakes out. I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, Minwoo's at 76. Sahith is at 8,000. You're paying up a little bit more for that guy. I mean, right? I mean, it's one of those two, clearly, right?
Yes, I still want to go Minwoo.
Do you?
Man, I just feel like his
He did play here last year. Sahith,
yeah, he was 1-1-1 last year. Just the way he's playing and his you know, probably hitting that 2 iron off the tee a lot all day long. He can
Minwoo,
score.
47th in the world golf ranking and not currently in the Masters. That's a big, big, big key. Sahith is in, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like, and just the way Fitzy's playing right now, it just seems so lost. And then watch him win this group. But I would, even if there's chalk there with Minwoo, he's the one for me. I could see Minwoo Lee making it into the Elite Eight, Final Four, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on. John Rahms, Group 2 is going to play the winner of Cam Young as your lead dog in Group 15. Cam Young just announced today that he is now blessed with Paul Tesori on the bag, longtime
Yeah.
caddy for Webb Simpson and a friend of the Tour Junkies show. Has been on the show a couple of times. We know Paul very well. Great guy. Is now with Cam Young. Him and Webb seemingly very amicably parted ways after yesterday and after 12 years. So they're going to be moving on. Very interesting. And I mean, that's got to have a fantastic effect on Cam Young. I don't know. I don't know who his caddy was. Probably should, but I'm sure whoever it was, great caddy, good guy. But I mean, Paul Tesori is one of the top caddies in golf. He was a fantastic player himself, played on the PGA Tour, was Webb's coach and caddy for a long time. I just think Paul Tesori is going to bring an immense amount of wisdom and knowledge and just everything needed to Cam Young, another Wake Forest Demon Deacon. So he's going from Wake Forest Demon Deacon to Wake Forest Demon Deacon there, Paul Tesori. But good grab for Cam Young. The struggles with him has been on the greens, which I think Paul Tesori obvious help there. This could be like a Ted Scott, Scotty Scheffler situation. Like,
I think it's a great move for Cam Young for sure. I think, and this is what happens too with these guys that, that he's been with Webb a long time. Sometimes it just runs its course. It doesn't mean they don't like each other or whatever. It just happens. And I think he will definitely be good for Cam because, like you said, Cam has struggled around the greens. I think it'll having a guy like with his experience, like Paul Tesori on there. And Tesori's also like a daggum life coach around the golf course. I mean, he's like a Ted Scott, like he's literally like in your ear. He talks a lot. He's very positive, very motivational. That kind of stuff is always good. So I think it can't be anything but a good thing for Cam.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at John Rahm's group, who will have to face the winner of the Cam Young group. Group 2, Rahm, Ricky, Billy, Keith Mitchell. This is a murderer's row group here. I mean, obviously, Billy Horschel's got a great record here, past champion here. I believe Rahm and Ricky both have pretty solid match play records in general. Let's take a look. Ricky Fowler is 12, 8, and 5 overall. 0-1-2 here, which I don't really put a ton of stock into that. If he's only played 1 year in group play and he went 1-2, no big deal. But 12-8-5, plenty of match play experience for Ricky Fowler. John Rahm is 12-7-3 here, 13-8-3 overall. Keith Mitchell, 2-3-1 here, and that's his overall as well. Billy Horschel, 10-5-2 here, 13-8-2 overall. John Rahm is at 11,000 even. Ricky Fowler is at 8,200. Billy Horschel is at 7,900, and Keith Mitchell is at 8,100. To me, the first one out that I feel like I can eliminate is Billy Horschel. The ball striking's just been terrible. The form has been bad. Like, sure, there's variance, right? And so, yeah, a guy like Billy Horschel could come out of his group, but coming out of a group with Keith Mitchell, Ricky Fowler, and John Rahm, the way they're playing right now, I don't see that happening. So, not willing to embrace that kind of variance. This is a very tough decision between Keith Mitchell, Ricky Fowler, and John Rahm. I don't know. It may depend on how I end up building lineups. Feeling a little better about like Scheffler coming out of his group, or what was the other chalky guy I'm eating up top? Who was it? Oh, Homa coming out of his group, maybe even Spieth. I might rather just use the savings on a different stud because I think John Rahm could get caught here, which might push me to Fowler or Keith Mitchell. Fowler is on the outside looking into Augusta as well at 59th in the world. Keith Mitchell is inside at 45 in the world. And let's see, what else? Fowler and Keith Mitchell is 18th in the Ryder Cup standings, Fowler 21st. So they're kind of way out there. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, could this be a group that you think of think of possibly going with two guys?
Yeah, I
And I
guess.
say that because I think with the group they have to go against next, the winner
Yeah.
of either Cam Young, Davis Thompson, Sepp Straka, and Corey Connors, a lot of question marks in that group. So I feel like if you have the winner of this Rahm Ricky group, they've got a really good shot to move into at least the round of 16. So for me, this could be a chance where you go with a Ricky and a Rahm, or Ricky and Keith Mitchell, go a little different there, and then take your chances of not getting of maybe a chalky Rahm and an expensive Rahm getting pushed out. So that might be what I would lean to do. But if I'm taking one guy, I think I'd probably go Ricky here. I like the way
I
he's
think that's
playing.
where I'm leaning to.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean,
So
8,200, I can't imagine that any one of those three will be super chalky because I think it could get spread out,
yeah, I agree.
which may mean if people go by that optimal build too, right? And they're only going to pick one player out of group 2 and 15, which I mean, maybe only half of people will do it in a large public contest. But if they're only going to pick one guy out of group 2 and 15, it's probably going to come from group 2. So that means that the guys here in group 15 are also probably you're going to get some leverage on. Cam Young being the stud,
Yeah.
and Cam Young is priced at 9,200. Davis Thompson is at 6,200. That's like damn near minimum. Sepp Straka is at 6,100, and Corey Connors, who went deep last year, is at 7,900. I mean, to me, Connors is out because I don't feel like he's that much of a better player for that much more of a price tag. I'm out. And then Sepp is out for me. So to me, it's either Davis Thompson.
Oh, come on. Why are you taking Sepp out, man?
I just I get more keyed up over Davis Thompson. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
almost won on Pete Dye Design at PGA West. That lost to John Rahm. Maybe he's like, I want my revenge on Rahm. Come out of Group 15, take down
Yeah.
John Rahm in Group 2. Davis Thompson also 69th in the world, outside looking in to the Masters.
We know he's top 100 in the world because he
We
told
do
me
know
that.
that. We told you that. That's true.
You need to. That was a good interview.
So I think for me in this one, it's either Cam Young or Davis Thompson. Cam Young is very tempting, so I could probably lean there. So yeah,
I'm not so sold on just throwing out Corey Connors yet.
are you? You're not sold?
I just, and usually I'm not a big Connors fan.
Yeah,
But he is a great ball striker. He's gonna be, now the putting is could be an issue, but he's gonna be really solid. Probably not, messing up a whole lot against you, which is good. Like, sometimes
The
when you're playing
putter,
match
though.
play, you're just hoping that somebody like throws one out of bounds or something, you get an easy win. You're not going to get an easy win off of Corey Connors, I don't think.
No, but the putter is just gonna be maddening. He finished 3rd here. He won the consolation match on Sunday. So finished 3rd last year. But I don't know. I think I'm out. All right, let's get to these last couple groups and we'll
Okay.
wrap this up. Group 7 and Group 10 playing each other. Group 7 led by Willie Z, Will Zalatoris, who is at 8,900. Andrew Putnam at 6,000 bare minimum price. Ryan Fox, 7,000. And Harris English is at 6,900. So, I mean, Will Z gets kind of a nice draw here. Harris English is at 43rd in the world golf ranking, and he is not qualified for the Masters, so he's just got to stay in there, which I would imagine he does pretty easily. He's 14th in the Ryder Cup rankings. And I think Will Z is like way outside the Ryder Cup rankings, actually. And other than that, I don't think there's anybody else that we need to put on watch here. Andrew Putnam, 68th in the world. To me, this might be a group where I go and get some leverage, possibly, but I definitely save some money, and I might go ahead and grab Ryan Fox.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was actually just trying to look in here and see um, where did he finish at the Players? Wasn't it pretty good?
Yeah, he had a good week at the Players. He was in our 6K draft. He finished 27th at the Players, 14th at the Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Ryan Fox is really interesting to me here.
Do we have any? So Willie Z, 4, 3, and 1 here. We don't have anything on Ryan Fox. We don't have. I mean, Harris English, we've got a little bit of record on. He is 5-5 overall and 1-2 here in Austin. Andrew Putnam, 1-2 in Austin. So not much of anything. But I mean,
If you look at Ryan Fox though and the way he's been playing lately, just at the start of this year. Now in Abu Dhabi at the HSBC Championship, he finished 65th, but he started 71-66, and then he had a terrible Saturday where he shot 79.
mhm.
But then at the Hero in Dubai, he finished top 20, 11th in the next event after that, which I can't, I don't know how to say it. And then at the Singapore Classic, 17th, and then like you said, API 14th. 27th at the Players. He's been playing super well. I mean, good
Yeah,
enough to win out of this bracket for
yeah,
sure,
I agree.
or this group.
All right, let's get to Group 10, who will play the winner of the Will Zalatoris group. Final group for us: Tony Finau, Christian Bezadenhout, Kirk Kitayama, Adrian Meronk. Finau is at 9,800. Seabez is at 67. Here, Kitty is at 76, and Meronk is at 6,400. Another nice price savings there on Meronk. In terms of world golf ranking, nobody in here that's really a bubble boy, but we do have Meronk at 16th in the European Tour Ryder Cup standings and playing very well lately. I see Darren's in the chat talking about him as a possible dark horse. I agree. I do like Adrian Meronk quite a bit. Finau is actually 16th in the U.S. Ryder Cup rankings. So a couple guys 16th in the Ryder Cup rankings. I mean, I don't think Finau necessarily has to prove himself in terms of a match play situation to the same extent that maybe Meronk has to. Tony Finau has a 7-7-2 record overall in match play, a 5-6-1 record here at Austin. Seabez 1-5-1 overall and 0-5-1 here at Austin. He has been terrible here. And who else am I looking for? Not Meronk, but Kitayama, probably nothing. And Meronk, I don't know that we have anything on him either. So,
Yeah.
what do you think here? I mean, this is.
I want to go. I want to go with Adrian Meronk.
Do you?
That's what I want to do here.
I think I want to lean. I think I want to lean Meronk, but Finau is tempting to me. He's tempting. I think he's a stud that gives you. I think he's a stud that probably will go a little low owned considering how talented he is. I mean, he's finished 17th, 40th, 28th, 35th here. years past. He's still playing well. I mean, 19th at the Players, 24th at API, 20th at the Genesis, 14th at Phoenix, 9th at the Farmers. He's just not having. He hasn't had a whole lot of. We haven't been talking about Tony Finau trying to
Yeah, because
win.
we're not seeing him, on Sundays, but
Right.
he's still playing.
Right.
He's still playing solid, and I agree. I mean, I think if you want to be safe here, he's the one to play. But if you think if you want to get frisky, I think Maroc
Yeah.
is a good one. You could see round 2, Ryan Fox, Adrian
I was
Maroc.
just looking. I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
If I'm visualizing my bracket, I could actually see that happening.
Well, that's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to go ahead and write out your brackets,
Yes,
visualize it, write it all out. Do some of those scenarios where you're filling it all the way out and see if you can buy it. See, and it also helps to do that and do that before you build your DraftKings lineups, and then kind of
exactly.
reference that to kind of say, okay, if this is who I think is coming out of here, then maybe I need to go pull this guy and not pair these two guys together, and let's build at least somewhat optimally, right? We always want to build optimally, but you don't have to be like perfect, as I think we've hammered that home to this point. Pat, we did have a wonderful 6K draft again last week. This time we had 4 players out of the 6 make the cut. The Woo boy, I think it was Dylan Woo, finished 58th. MJ Duffy finished 19th. Our boy Smoth Daddy, Austin Smotherman, 36th, and Jason Duffner, he was the family sweat bet trying to get a top 20, finished 36th. Only Tano Goya and Zach Johnson missed the cut. So a fantastic 6K draft we had. I mean, do we want to do one right now, or do we feel like we've gone long enough here?
I mean, I think we could maybe give, although we could maybe give 6 guys in here that we think could come out of their groups.
All right, let's go quickly.
Okay. You want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
All right, Denny McCarthy at 6,900.
Yep, I was looking at that one. Okay, I will go. I think there's a chance Ben Griffin. Sneaks out of his situation. 60, 65. I like the value there. Where I can't find where this guy is because the font is so damn small on this sheet. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So then I would go. He is. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going. Group 4, KH Lee.
Yeah.
6,400.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right. Well, I'll make this easy because we've already talked about. Where is he? Ryan Fox. Oh shit, he's 7K. All right. Well, I'll go Maroc.
I was about to say. I knew you were going to go there.
Maroc
Okay.
64.
Well then, we talked about this one too. I'll go down to Davis Thompson then. Group 15, 6,200.
Okay. I'm tempted.
One more.
There's a number of. That one's tough. Davis Thompson. Oof. I think I'm tempted to go either Poston or Perez. I think Poston might have the easier way out. Both are tough. Which one do you like better?
Perez for me, but
Perez got Svensson, Day, and Morikawa. That just seems like Day. Morikawa is always whatever. Poston, Sungjae, Fleetwood, and McNeely. That's tough too. Oh God, I'm gonna go Poston just because he's our boy. Okay. So Denny McCarthy, Ben Griffin, KH Lee, Adrian Maronk, Davis Thompson, JT Poston. There it is. That is the DraftKings DFS preview betting show. We're going to talk about picking our group picks, outrights, fun stuff. Love the match play. We're also going to cover some Corrales stuff. I'll make sure I hit that. The chat on Tuesday night this week instead of Wednesday night. Pay attention to that. Tons of content coming out this week, but it's all going to be like whoosh, jammed up. So let's have a great week. May your screens be green. See ya.